You ever feel like you're surrounded by people who don't actually think? Like they just react, emotionally, impulsively, without ever stopping to ask why. You try to explain something, calmly, logically, and you're met with outrage, accusations, labels. You know what that is? That's not modern behavior. That's ancient software. Most people aren't operating from logic. They're still tribal, still emotionally reactive, still hardwired for groupthink and fear-based mob responses. They think they're evolved because they have iPhones and degrees and TikTok followers. But upstairs, they're still cavemen. Ever see someone lose their mind over a tweet they clearly didn't read? That's the tribal brain in action. Let me give you a real example. I was on a TikTok live with some guys ranting about predators and men in power. Emotional, loud, calling for justice, all the usual. So I asked, what's the solution? How do we stop these people? You know what they said? Shaming. That was their master plan. Shaming. You think shaming tactics are going to override biology? That just made me laugh. It's like throwing glitter at a hurricane. These people have no real framework, no evolutionary lens, no systemic logic, just moral panic and surface level outrage. So I tried to explain it to them. I said, look, I'm not saying what these men are doing is okay. I'm saying if you want to actually stop it, you need to understand why it happens. These are deep-rooted biological drives, shaped by evolution and amplified by power structures. Screaming into a phone doesn't fix that. But they didn't listen. They weren't interested in hearing perspective. They just wanted emotional release. That's when I realized I wasn't having a conversation. I was standing in front of a digital mob. And if you're a critical thinker, someone who observes human behavior from a psychological or evolutionary lens, you're not broken. You're just upgraded. This is a message for you. Let's go back. Humans evolved in tribes, small ones, maybe 150 people max. In that world, survival didn't come from logic or critical thinking. It came from emotional synchronization. If someone in your tribe screamed, danger, you didn't stop and analyze the evidence. You reacted. You followed the crowd. Emotional alignment kept you safe. Fast forward to today, that wiring is still running in the background. Most people walk around with this outdated OS, reacting emotionally, jumping to conclusions, and rejecting anything that makes them feel uncertain or uncomfortable. This is why people can't handle nuance. It's why debates become shouting matches. Why facts don't matter when feelings are triggered. Why mobs form online over misunderstood tweets or clips taken out of context. People aren't thinking, they're surviving. Like when people panic buy toilet paper during a crisis. It's not logic, it's the herd. You think cancel culture is new? You think outrage mobs are some modern invention? Number this is ancient behavior with new branding. In the 1600s, women were accused of being witches and burned at the stake. Why? Paranoia, fear, emotional hysteria. During the French Revolution, mobs publicly executed people for being enemies of the people. No trials, just guillotines. In the 1950s, America, McCarthyism turned anyone with a different political view into a communist traitor. Today is the same formula. Just replace the torches and gallows with hashtags and TikTok duets. We went from burning witches to burning reputations. Same mob, different pitchforks. Sound familiar? So where does that leave you? The one who pauses before reacting. The one who asks why. You're not crazy, you're just evolved. Critical thinkers have always been rare and always feared. Socrates got executed. Galileo got locked up. Jung was ridiculed. Malcolm X was murdered. Truth disrupts the emotional trance of the tribe, and the tribe doesn't like being woken up. When has the mob ever rewarded truth? Exactly. So when you calmly explain behavior from an evolutionary or psychological lens, people accuse you of being cold, emotionless, or even defending evil. Not because you're wrong, but because you're different. You're not playing their emotional game. You're exposing it. That's what real cognitive evolution looks like. It's not how fast your phone is. It's how clearly you see through the noise. Social media didn't create this madness. It amplified it. TikTok is the new village bonfire. Twitter is the new tribal drum. Algorithms reward rage, not reason. They amplify fear, division, and drama because outrage gets clicks, and clicks make money. So people aren't incentivized to think, they're trained to feel, react, signal. If you want attention, don't be thoughtful, be angry. If you want to go viral, don't bring nuance, bring a moral pitchfork. The modern world doesn't reward intellect, it rewards emotional performance. People think they've evolved because they have access to AI and 4K cameras. But their psychology hasn't moved an inch since the fire pit. Outrage spreads like wildfire in a dry forest. Fast, irrational, and unstoppable. But here's the good news, and the uncomfortable truth. The future doesn't belong to the mob. It belongs to the thinkers. The people who can pause, question, zoom out. The ones who don't flinch when they're uncomfortable. The ones who know the difference between facts and feelings. You're not broken for thinking differently. You're just not stuck in the ancient script. The world needs more people who can override the tribal OS and install the upgrade. Because emotional mobs don't build the future, they burn it down. So if you're still watching and you see the pattern like I do, you're not alone. And for the rest still running on tribal software, it's time to update. Because in the end, it's not the loudest voice that shapes the world. It's the clearest mind.